Hello, and welcome to Work Well with Stephanie Wolfe, brought to you by the Whole Food Health Coach, LLC, where we make your goals our goals. And you're never alone on your wellness journey. Experience the information, inspiration, and collaboration of our Coach in Your Corner partnership. My name is Stephanie Wolfe. I'm a national board certified health and wellness coach and proud owner of the Whole Food Health Coach, now in its 9th year, and 5-time winner of Best of Gwinnett Award in endocrinology, diabetes, and metabolism practices. Rachel, Sherry, and I invite you to visit WholeFoodHealthCoach.com to set up your 60-minute healthy living assessment. Our award-winning 3-phase program is changing lives. Work Well is brought to you weekly and is dedicated to your personal and professional health and wellness. I offer examples from my own life, health, marriage, family, and business. I share my research, my opinion, and my faith designed to bring you compelling content, engaging challenges, and practical body, soul, and spirit support for your wellness journey. Work Well comes to you from my personal desire to live long and strong with passion and purpose, die of old age, and help others to do the same. Now, from living rooms to boardrooms via Business RadioX, you're listening to Work Well with Stephanie Wolfe. All right, let's do this. I start with a funny story, and this one I'm calling Not Here Today. So one day, passerby was watching workers alongside the road. One man was digging a hole. The second man filled the hole with dirt. They moved to the next spot and repeated their work, hole after hole. When a passerby finally stopped to ask what everyone had already been thinking as they passed, why is one worker digging the hole only to have the other man fill the hole? They answered, the man who plants the trees isn't here today. Okay, well, we're showing up to work and hopefully working well. That's what this is all about. And if you've been listening to my podcast, then you know that every week I seek to offer you inspiration and information. And I encourage you to challenge yourself, change something, improve something, let go of something, pick up something, start something, restart something, or at least begin that self-dialogue and excite yourself towards that generating movement that's going to get you to your healthier self. There's a lot that we've been talking about since January 2023, the theme of new beginnings and heart health and Marvelous Marriage Marathon Month and spring cleaning. And in May was Women's Health Month. And yes, today again is Men's Health. So we've been talking about men's health for the entire month. We're going to continue to do that. And this is part 3. So today I'm going to offer you, I hope, at least 5 tips for Men's Health Month. And I promised that I would be giving you recommendations, and we've had a lot going on, a lot of great stuff. So listen back if you haven't been with us in the previous segments. So in this, I'm calling it Man Up. So I wrote Man Up, and I recorded these sessions and you can listen anytime. Obviously, you might not be listening in the particular session or month, but I'm devoting this whole series to increasing your awareness of the preventable health problems. And I want to encourage you, precious men and boys, to take a look at what you can do to improve your health and well-being. So I've shared a lot of research and studies, and some scary, to help the male population man up. And these studies show a significant difference when it comes to the comparison between men and women, and that's the stats that I've given you. And I'm just going to remind you of them again today, in case you're listening today for the first time. So these differences are often associated with certain behaviors and spotlighting those issues that may need to be addressed in your life. And maybe you're a woman who's listening today, and obviously this is, anybody who's listening can make changes, and I hope you will and do. But I'm really focused on working well and helping you men. As promised, I'm going to offer some specific recommendations to help you to get on top of your game and stay there. And remember, it's never too early or too late to work towards being your healthiest you. So listening to the podcast in this series will help you to do that, and I'm going to review those stats as promised. So according to the CDC, the average lifespan of men is 5 years less than women, and that number, or that gap, has been increasing over the years. And then the second is the top 3 causes of death of men is heart disease, cancer, and unintentional injuries. In other words, due to that risky behavior that men are so known for. And then 3 is men are most always twice as likely as women to die of a heart attack, and significantly more likely to die of cancers than women. And the last in that category is men are also less likely to undergo treatment for mental health conditions such as depression. And that results in nearly a 4 times increase in the likelihood of committing suicide. Now, those are some big, scary stats. And like I promised, one of the things that we talked about in the last couple of sessions was that the most problematic behaviors contributing to this lifespan disparity is the non-help seeking nature amongst men in all areas. So be it physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, financial, marital. And guys, you're smarter than that. We've got some help out there, great people that are ready to help in all of those areas and that can really give you some of the solutions that you may need. So since you're here, I'm assuming that you are not one of those men who doesn't care about living or living well. And if you are listening to Work Well with Stephanie Wolfe, who is a board-certified health and wellness coach, then you are brilliant. So you must be a man who cares. Well done. Today is your day, and there's no better time to start. In fact, there's no bad time to ever start, right? So that's why I'm here. I really, I love the little saying, I really regret eating healthy today, said no one ever. So I know there's some great food out there. I focus a lot on creating foods and recipes that your taste buds will love as much as your body does. So that's just one of the things that we're able to do at Whole Food Health Coach. But I'm glad you're here today. So I'm going to ask you to grab a pen and paper. Go on, go get one. Hurry up. Because a clearly defined problem is half the solution. So I'm going to share these 5 things with you quick, and hopefully I'm going to get to another portion of what I'm going to be talking about, which is strength training. But we'll see where we get to in our time together today. So number 1 is know your numbers. And wait, that total number doesn't tell the whole story. I recommend my clients get the Withings scale, and no, I don't get any kickback from them, though I should. But a smart scale is really worth the extra money, mostly because it's going to help you to understand the pounds of fat that you're carrying, the pounds of muscle. It also shares water in some ways. And then, of course, the next number would be the BMI. And there's a lot of talk around BMI these days. It's helpful, but it still falls short of seeing the overall health of your body. So another is waist circumference. And men, your waist should be less than 40 inches at the belly. You're less than 40 inches, and that doesn't always tell the whole story either, but waist circumference is actually a portion of what we look at when we're looking at health determinations. And the next is blood pressure. Obviously, that blood pressure, normal is 120/80. High would be the 140 to 89, and then, of course, very high and dangerously high over that. So pay attention to those numbers. Yes, they can go up and down, but you want to get some consistency in the normal range so that you can take good care of that heart. Because if it's working extra hard, it's supposed to do that for certain lengths of time if you're running or working out, but not on a regular basis. So you need to take care of yourself, and taking care of that heart obviously is a big part of that. And then lung. A lung CT for just monitoring your chances of lung cancer, men that are 50-plus-year-old smokers or those who have smoked in the past. That's another good test to take to know that number. And then a colonoscopy, the dreaded colonoscopy, I get it. But that helps to assess the risk of your chances of colon cancer, and you should have them by age 50, even sooner if you have a family history. And then dermatologists, of course, checking for skin cancer, and that screening is important. Men, your PSA exams start at age 40. And then one that I lean into a lot with my clients is annual blood work. So your blood tells everything. You've heard me say it before. Most PCPs order basic labs for diabetes, and that's the A1C numbers and some of the fasting glucose tolerance numbers, and as well as cholesterol, thyroid, liver, anemia. They're looking for some of those basic things. And traditional labs are super great, and they're focused on finding problems and watching those numbers. And their goal is to diagnose and treat. Obviously, there's medicines for everything. So those are some important things that you can do. But, and this is a big but for better blood work, talk to me about Inside Tracker. Inside Tracker, it tests 42 different biomarkers, and it's designed for optimization, prevention, and longevity. So it's focused on what we call well care for those of us who want to stay in front of challenges, correcting numbers before there are symptoms in those areas, not after. And I always say I don't wait around. I'm proactive. So I'm a preventionist, and to me, those numbers really matter. So I'm an Inside Tracker Pro, and I can assist you as my client in understanding your body systems, all the numbers that are on that report that sometimes are confusing, and then how to begin to make small and steady improvements that can optimize your body systems and, of course, more accurately address problems, especially in the areas where you can change some food choices that you might be making. So it's all about real food. It's in the name, Whole Food Health Coach. So that's what I do, and I'm offering 50% off in honor of Father's Day. So if you're interested and you're listening between now and the 18th of June, that 50% is yours for some of the bundles that we offer. And I would say it's like getting a crystal clear look at what's going on inside of you, because your blood tells everything. So those are some important things for you to get your physical, get your annual numbers, know what they are. The second one is similar in that you've heard me say it so many times. I'm going to say it again. Watch what you eat. So you are what you eat. Don't be cheap, easy, or fake. So avoid cheap, easy, and fake fast foods. It's where you're going to find all the bad fats, the sugar, sodium, and the worst foods are actually the foods that are cheap and quick and very fake. They're non-foods. And eating large amounts of those non-foods, that processed food or foods that are high amounts of sodium, are the main causes for obesity and, of course, all of the illnesses that come as a part of that diagnosis. And then avoid fake processed foods. And I've talked about fast food, and they kind of go hand in hand. So the processed foods, obesity is actually linked to the increased occurrences of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even respiratory issues. So those are some biggies: avoiding white bread, pastas, pizza, fried foods, especially fried foods, and pastas. If you're eating the right kinds of pastas, they're not as bad. And of course, quality and quantity. So I always say it's how much you eat. It's not always how or what you eat. So they kind of go hand in hand. And really, most fast foods have so much fake and processed ingredients that it's good to just keep those on the I have to stop here and get something list. Okay, and the next one is eliminating or at least cutting down on soda. And when it comes to any kind of soda, actually, so I'm not going to lean on any one particular name, but the connection between soft drink consumption and body weight is so strong that researchers actually calculate that for each additional soda consumed, the rate of obesity increases 1.6 times, resulting in a 70%, yes, I said 70% increase in cardiovascular disease, 42% increase in breast cancer, and a 30% increase in bladder surgeries. So those who drink soda have an 80% chance of developing diabetes, and that's responsible for 1 in 10 deaths. So this is serious, and the acid and the sugar that's in the soda actually dissolves tooth enamel, and it promotes decay, and nerve and root and abscesses can occur. And mostly that's because of the sodas are so full of high fructose corn syrup associated with increased risk of metabolic syndrome. And that's a big number. It's kind of a big umbrella. umbrella for obesity issues, as well as high blood pressure, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. So they kind of all go hand in hand here. And I say practice the 80-20 rule. Eat foods that provide good nutrition and an abundance of natural occurring vitamins and minerals 80% of the time. Foods high in sugar and special occasion food is what I call it, the other 20%. There's going to be the birthday cake and the cupcakes and some of that stuff. But if you're doing that if those numbers are flip-flopped, where it's 80% of the sugar and processed foods and fast foods and soda, and only 20% of the veggies and fruits and nuts and berries and seeds, then you're going to have some health problems coming your way. So eating 7 to 13 servings of vegetables and fruits every day. And I do it at every meal. I always say if you can see your plate, it should look very colorful with the reds of tomatoes and red bell peppers, and green with all of the lettuces and the fun leafy greens, all of those, and then your fruits at a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 vegetables for every 1 fruit, and then focus on lean and clean proteins. So fish is one of my favorites to talk about. Don't have time to talk about it too much, but fish, chicken, and I'm not talking about fried fish or fish sandwiches because that's not going to give you what you're actually looking for. And salmon is one of the better fish. And if it's wild caught, it's going to have the azathioprine that is creating all of the healthy goodness for your brain cells as well as your gut health. And then Greek yogurt, beans. I'm going kind of fast just because I'm just rambling on all those things that pretty much I eat on a regular basis, and I love them. And I feel like it's making a difference in my brain health, at least when I'm not trying to talk so fast. So I'm going to slow down. So quality and quantity. And I mentioned that before. Spend the extra money to get a quality product. Get quality produce. And this is the area where you don't want to be cheap. So, and then of course, quantity, making sure that you're eating regular small meals throughout the day and that they are nutrient dense meals so that you're getting all the nutrients that your body was meant to have. All right, you ready for number 3? If you've got your pen and paper, you've been writing that down. Have you been writing that down, Dan? You, Mike, back there? Okay. I know. They've got their pen and paper, and they are taking meticulous notes, and will probably listen to this podcast again just to make sure they don't miss anything. All right. So number 3 is get up off the couch. And when I do my live streaming and workouts and things like that, I usually end with get up off the couch. And now I'm saying to you men, man up. So movement is medicine. Man up and turn your body into your own personal internal pharmacy. I have a whole series that I teach about the internal pharmacy, and it's awesome because our body systems are depending on us, and our systems are created in amazingly wonderful ways, and they can do things that we probably don't even understand unless you sit with Sherry or Rachel or myself and learn about that internal pharmacy. Because when it's open, you have plenty of healthy endothelium cells that are released, and they release chemical messengers called nitric oxide. I know you've heard that word, which promotes, helps the body to make its own medicine. And of course, it's like a pharmacy that's open 24/7, and it's in the right amounts, and it's certainly free because it's inside your own body. And the 2 most important things that you can do to help your body make its own medicine is to eat foods that help reduce inflammation and to exercise. So physical fitness, it's about weight, yes, but it's really about health. So don't make it about the 6-pack or the abs or the number on the scale or any of those things. The 2 are connected, the health and the weight, but we're really all about the health, because if your body is healthy and you're eating nutrient-dense food, actually, if you eat the nutrient-dense food, your body doesn't store it because it's going to use it up. And of course, if you have fitness as a part of your daily routine, then it's going to need that energy, that fuel to keep it going. So the health benefits start immediately. Can you say immediately? Start immediately after you begin regular fitness routine. It's amazing what it can do for you by your body and your mind. So it improves physical and mental health. It improves muscle strength, all muscles. Improves heart health. That cardiovascular system is depending on it, and the optimization of strength to your immune system, which is a big, important part of staying well and going to work well, and optimize the power of your endocrine system, which I have won the Best of Gwinnett in that area 5 years in a row, as I mentioned, but there's a reason for that because I focus on health and I want you to focus on health. And there's certain ways that we can actually provide for those systems so that they can be ready to provide for you. So, and then also exercise reduces the risk of a lot of those chronic conditions that I talked about earlier by optimizing the power of your immune system and your endocrine system and all the other systems as well. It's good for your digestive tract too. So health benefits, even short episodes of physical activity are beneficial, but don't think that just because you've had a busy day that you're getting the job done. The minimum is, and I say minimum, is 30 minutes of vigorous exercise 5 to 6 days a week to maintain current weight. So if you're going to do something a little bit extra on that, you could do it 7 days or maybe 40 minutes and see more benefits from that. And I'm going to try and talk about strength training in a minute. But the physically fit, in order to be physically fit, it really takes 30% exercise and 70% nutrition. So if you just work out every day, all day, or you're an athlete and you're not fueling yourself well, then you are fooling yourself well, because there is a difference between the fuel that you're giving your body and what you're expecting from your body. So physical activity actually helps you to feel better, function better, sex better, sleep better, think better, and be better. Make time for it. I love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, actor and pro wrestler, says, if something stands between you and your success, move it. Never be denied. And I believe that with all of my heart. There's so much truth in that. Okay, and then lowering your stress. I talked about the mental side of fitness, and so it actually lowers your stress level, but that is number 4, is lower your stress. We talked extensively about this last week with Dr. Austin Shugart, so go back and listen to that. Actually, statistics show that men have more difficulty handling stress compared to women. And that's primarily because women typically have a better social network and also that circle of friends that we can confide in. And the male mentality often tends to avoid discussing their feelings, and they're less likely to disclose those issues even with their primary care physician. So resulting in more cases of major depression and anxiety, sometimes just being undiagnosed, because they always think that you can handle it. You know, you always have that way of saying, I've got this, I'm going to rise above this, or it's going to go away, or any of those kind of things. So stress itself is actually linked to higher blood pressure and body weight, and also sleep issues. So there's a lot that goes on in that. I have a whole series on sleep and anxiety, and fitness is a part of how you can really attack some of those things that are maybe attacking you. And it's important to take the time to talk to a health coach or a mental health specialist or a therapist and see what kind of activities. We've shared some of them here on this podcast, but watch your own self. Watch yourself for signs of depression. And real men, don't ignore mental health. That's something that's super important to the whole family. It's a ripple effect. So the more you take care of yourself, the more you're taking care of those people that you truly love. So the last in this particular category is watch your risky behaviors. You men are famous for this. Just watch America's Funniest Home Videos and you will see. Most of the women are standing around shaking their heads like, no, really? But also I'll talk about alcohol. So if you drink alcohol, then drink responsibly. Limiting alcohol consumption and, of course, not smoking are almost routinely advised by all medical professionals because they can result in liver disease, cirrhosis, and alcohol dependence, but definitely other things that affect your brain cells. And I talk a lot about that because I think a lot of time we know that the response levels of alcohol-induced when you're trying to drink and drive, and some of those things that are just deadly, not just for you, but for someone else that's innocent bystanders. So those are all some things to consider, but definitely understand how it's affecting your own body. Even if you're not in a car, you better not be, and drinking and driving. But there's also a lot of cancers that are connected with excess alcohol consumption. And then, of course, smoking. Everybody knows smoking is dangerous, and there's a wide variety of cancers. And one factor that I think is definitely changeable. It's something that you can do something about. It's not something that just is hereditary or DNA. So you have control over that one, men, and all of us. And there are many resources and programs that can actually help you to reduce your alcohol intake or smoking cessation programs. I work on some of those things. It just depends on how significant it is. And then I have other people that I love to refer to. And then again, men, if you're sexually active, it's important to routinely be tested for sexually transmitted diseases and practice safe sex. And it's also important to avoid illicit drug use or non-prescription even medication that's used or overused. And then lastly in this category, please use your seatbelts, wear helmets when riding a motorcycle, and stop jumping off roofs into swimming pools. Again, those are some of the biggies. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about strength training for the last little bit here before we close. And the strength training for men, I have a whole series on this, and so I'm just going to give you the highlights of it. But how could weightlifting and strength training change your life, men? Well, number one, you can fight flab and droop. To me, replacing that with tone and definition makes great sense. I always start with that one because it's the most obvious, and anyone who's ever seen bodybuilders knows what I mean. And but I'm really talking about the more average working man who takes, good care of himself and provides for his body nutrient-dense foods, but also working on those abs and pecs like my husband and son. And when you add strength training routine to your healthcare routine, your body shapes up quickly. So you may want to work on that with a professional fitness trainer to determine an appropriate strength training regimen. And of course, talk to your doctor first before you start any physical activity routine. So I'm my disclaimer there. And then number two is beat down all those health risk numbers, because that's what it does. All those things that I've talked to you about at the beginning, the risks that can take you down need to be beat down, and you can do it. In fact, no one can do it for you. Are you worried about the high numbers or the weight or the blood pressure, cholesterol, or any of those, the A1C sludge in your blood, any of those things that I've mentioned? Then reduce your worry factor significantly by starting to lift weights. And when you do, you'll find that your body will build a better defense against everything from the common cold to the countless diseases that plague so many, and from diabetes and cancer and heart disease and stroke. So these diseases will change your life for you if you don't make changes yourself. So without any help from you. And so we've got to do our part. So man up and get motivated in that area. The third is win over weakness. You can improve your stamina, go long and strong. Feeling weak, tired, overworked? Do you come home to the couch after a hard day of work and just crash and burn? If you wish you had more stamina to play a rousing game of kickball with your kids, or do your own lawn care, or put up an old start up an old hobby or sport that you used to love, lifting weights will help to improve your stamina. I actually had a client one time that was trying to improve his golf game, and so we worked on some strength training and some nutrition with him. So you would make those adjustments, and you can make those adjustments on your own. Your muscles are strong, men, and they can grow stronger when used. So power through your feelings of weakness and find time to win in this category. Number 4 is improved physique and sexual performance. So I can't promise that weightlifting will transform you into a sex machine, but you may just start to feel like one. And weight training will do many great things for your body and many that will show up in your sexual abilities. So strength training improves blood flow throughout the entire body, which is why it is healthy for your sexual function and performance. In addition to physical blood flow, you will feel better, and your body and both your physique and your physical and emotional impact is going to be experienced as well. So pay attention to that. And then 5 is to strengthen focus, concentration, and creativity. I know you're a busy man. I get it. You're a working man, you're a responsible man, important to the company, to the team, to the family, to the project. I don't want you to show up weak and tired and sick and dumb. We want you to show up strong and focused and ready to contribute, solve problems, address issues, find the answers, the solutions. That's what we want, and that's what you want. So strength training will help with that as well. If you seem a little less focused than maybe you've been in the past, this might be something that you would want to start up. Give your brain cells a blood flow boost, maybe. You'd be surprised what good that'll do for you. And then 6, fight off depression, anxiety, and unhealthy thought patterns. So you carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. We get it. Life isn't easy, and balancing all and the struggles, and they can be too much sometimes. So when this happens, I hope that you find yourself in a gym and not find yourself on a couch or spiraling into bouts of sadness and fueled more by stress and anxiety, because there's something you can do about it. Your mind can become consumed, obviously, with unhealthy thought patterns, even depression. But science has proven over and over that lifting weights regularly promotes something that pill pushing world doesn't want you to know. And there's so much that you can do for yourself. So remember, I do believe in pills, but I believe more in skills. And if at all possible, more skills, less pills. So 7 is conquer day-to-day challenges. And you can do that with confidence and courage because you feel stronger. You feel more ready to make the adjustments that you need throughout your day. You can live in the now and be ready to conquer life's challenges. It's good to plan and to know what you're doing with your life, but if you spend your life overwhelmed by the worry of everyday fears and future and the day-to-day stuff, then you're missing out on something really important, the precious here and now. So science says that when you lift weights, you're focused on the task at hand, which is really good for your brain, your mental health. By incorporating strength training, your life is changed for the better in so many ways. So I want you to know that number 8 is lift what weighs you down. It boosts your endorphins. I talk a lot about your metabolism and also those endorphin releasing chemicals that comes from weightlifting. So get up off the couch. Movement is medicine, and your strong muscles need to be used on a regular basis. Number 9 is build discipline, self-control, consistency, structure, routine, call it whatever you want. But wasting time is a waste of time. That's my quote. And sitting is the new smoking. That's not mine. But meaning that sitting is just as dangerous as smoking. So sitting and watching the lives of others on screens takes valuable time away from all that really matters and may take you away from those to whom you matter greatly. So your family. Your family needs you to care. They need you to be around. I believe in you. You can do this. You can be the strong man that you see in your mind's eye, maybe the man that you were years and years ago. But you can get back there, or at least get some of that strength back that you used to have if you are maybe over 50 and feeling that. Or maybe if you're younger and you're listening and thinking, okay, I don't want to be that man. There are certain things I need to take care of now. So you can achieve what you set your mind to. And I think it's just something that you need to set your mind to. And if I can help in that way, that's what I do in the wellness side of our coaching practice. And the last one is power up your example to the other men in your life. So there may be somebody who's looking up to you, and information is everywhere and science supports it. And I've given you a lot of science, but our clients' lifestyle behavior changes are living proof. Guys Every choice matters. Every choice can make you strong, healthy, and smart, or weak, sick, and dumb. Please care about yourself. If you do, then you're proving that you care about your loved ones and that you're not going to leave them anytime soon, at least, at your own hand. So you're not doing them any favors by trying to save money and not taking good care of yourself, or complaining about the cost of food or fitness equipment, or your annual tests and all the other things that I've talked to you about during this particular podcast. You work hard for your money, so spend it on anything you want and everything, that's for sure. But spend it on yourself and your health and your life so that you can take care of yourself. Be the change that you and your family can live with. I am so excited to get all of that out, and I kind of hit just the highlights. There's a whole lot more that I could share with you in those on those tips, but I want to make sure that I inspire you and give you enough information. You can go back and take a look. You can listen again, and you can make sure that you're doing what you can do for yourself. Live long and strong. I am all about that. So do what you can do what you will do, and do it to the best of your ability. Do it because it matters. Do it for yourself. Do it for those that you love or those that love you, but just do it. Decide what kind of life you really want, and then say no to everything that isn't that. Live long and strong for those that love you and need you to be around. Don't make them try to find out what life would be like without you. Ignoring your health concerns doesn't make you more of a man. Paying for your family's health insurance and doctor's visits and co-pays and groceries and all of those things, those are super important. Be a part of that process. Make sure you're one encouraging your family and your household to eat those groceries, eat those fresh vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds, and take some time to learn about it. I do some family coaching. It helps if all the family is involved. But whether or not you're a family man doesn't matter. There's a lot here that you can take advantage of. So pay attention, listen, learn, get the help you need, set the goals, make the changes, meet the objective. Well, you've been listening to Work Well with Stephanie Wolfe, brought to you by the Whole Food Health Coach LLC, where we make your goals our goals, and you're never alone on your wellness journey. For information about our corporate wellness programs, virtual classes, or our individual coaching programs, go to wholefoodhealthcoach.com. Our coaching is available virtually anywhere in the country. I'm Stephanie Wolfe, wishing you well personally and professionally. See you next week live or on your favorite podcast channel. Until then, choose life.